So there's an interesting pattern that is emerging. It's a very natural evolution of where we are. The idea from moving from platform thinking to a network thinking. And this is very key. Internet is not one platform. Netflix is a platform where you subscribe to content. Internet is not one platform that is subscribing to content. Content is decentralized. It's everywhere. But you are able to navigate because of the standardization of the protocol and the content markup language called HTML, right? That's why we managed to move from any blog server, any video server to your browser, sitting anywhere across, you can actually consume content in the internet. So the idea of internet or idea of telecom network like GSM, what does it taught you, or email network for that matter, what has it taught us is really that there is a possibility of connecting the two parties, provider of the content in the case of internet to a consumer of the content, right? Without a centralized server, with one server in the middle who is saying, okay, I will accumulate all the content, then I'll serve you the content. That's Netflix model, where content comes here, then you subscribe to content. Content producers put it up there, and then you subscribe. Pretty much all the platforms that you see around work in the same way. Interestingly, anytime there is an asymmetry between discovery asymmetry, I want something, I want a plumber, I want to find a plumber nearby, I want to find a doctor nearby. Traditionally, the way that information asymmetry was solved is by an intermediary who will accumulate this information and publish it for you to find it. And that becomes a platform play. I say yellow pages, even before digital, was actually a platform play. We used to flip the yellow pages to find a plumber or a electrician nearby. So when the digital post-internet, digital platforms started emerging, they followed the same model. Because the platform provider want to be in the middle, providing value-added services in one sense. So it was a very natural, as an entrepreneur, if you are starting a company, aggregation model was a natural thing to do. I would aggregate cabs and provide cabs to you. That's Uber. I'd aggregate content and provide content to you. With Amazon Prime or Netflix. I would aggregate food, restaurants on one side and allow you to order. That's food delivery platform. I'll aggregate gig workers and provide gig workers on the side. A TaskRabbit in the US or Urban Company in India are all doing the same thing. So this aggregation model, or Airbnb, classic example of another aggregation. I aggregate homestay or in apartments on one side, and on the other side consumers can find them. It's such a natural model from a yellow pages world to a digital yellow pages or digital platforms. But of course, they become very powerful. They become an intermediary who can now demand higher commission, and then we know the ripple effects of that. So 10 years into the platform, we are starting to see the ripple effects of the platform. So what is interesting is that what internet taught us is that you can have a decentralized network powered through protocols and standards that remain federated or decentralized in nature without a centralized monopoly of sort emerging. That is very important learning from internet. But it's the same thing with GSM or voice network. So we have seen in the past that it is doable. In India, we built two networks based on open protocol, decentralized network, one for payment and one for data. So to move data or to move payment without centralizing the data. or centralizing money, because we have many banks, many wallets, many merchants. Of course, you need to move money. So what we were starting to reimagine via the effort called Beacon Protocol. Beacon Protocol is an open source effort by a very nice large community that is reimagining commerce transactions, discovery, resource discovery and fulfillment models without a centralized platform. So Beacon Protocol is thinking like, why not an HTTP for taxi booking? Why not an HTTP for food ordering? Why not an HTTP for finding hospitals or labs or doctors nearby? Why not? So it was a bold reimagination by the open source community to build that protocol over the last 4 years. But now India has taken 2 bold steps by creating 2 networks based on that protocol. One for hyperlocal commerce called Open Network for Digital Commerce, called ONDC, and second called Namma Yatri. There is a Yatri means traveler. So it's for mobility, urban mobility, for taxi booking in Kochi, in southern India, or in Bangalore, where I am from. We are doing tuk-tuk or auto rickshaw booking, right? It's a very, very interesting possibility of saying, what if that driver has an app where the driver can say, what is the timing of my working? What is the cost of me offering this service? Can put up their catalog of sort. They're offering what they offer as a service. And on the other side, consumers can use any app, like the way you use any browser to anything. Imagine consumers can use any app to discover this driver, like the way we search on the internet, and actually book a taxi or a book auto rickshaw. This is where, this idea is quite bold. Idea is bold, but we were very, very sure that is something doable, because we have seen the past. We don't know the future, but we have definitely seen the past. Internet works, GSM works, emails work. So we have had, payments work. Payments had always been traditionally protocol driven, global payments, right? How did money move? It's always decentralized. It just moves, money moves from different system to different system. Not in the blockchain sense of decentralization. People should not get confused. The idea, the network is open, right? So we started this effort in India using Beacon Protocol, which is an open source protocol, to create a mobility network which just clocked 2 million rides in span of 6 months of its launch, proving that the idea can actually work. And ONDC is doing thousands of hyperlocal commerce transactions every day now in India. Early days, but obviously it will scale as we do. So what is very much a possibility, or using Beacon, and is very powerful reimagination that's possible with Beacon Protocol, is that now we can do any resource, product or a service or a person or a company can be discovered without both consumer and the provider being on the same platform. You don't need to be on the same platform. You can be in any platform. Consumer can be on any other platform. Imagine they are able to discover themselves and transact. That opens up a slew of possibility of remote telemedicine. I can discover a doctor, somebody may be in Africa, but I could find a doctor in India and actually do telemedicine consultation. Fast forward 10 more years, world is going to be highly connected, digital. So it's important to now digitally connect the network without centralization. Centralization creates a lot of either government centralization or private centralization. Does not take us into a global network level, an internet-like effect won't come unless we keep it decentralized, but allow the resources to be discovered each other and transacted each other. That's the idea of backend protocol.